Gee, Rain, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
They're Pinky and the Brain. Yes, Pinky and the Brain. One is a genius, the other's insane. They're laboratory mice. Their genes have been spliced. They're Pinky and the Brain. Brain, 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 brain.
Welcome to Pinky's Podcast, Week 15. Everything's great in the world. Patriots won, clinched the division again. Nice win against the Broncos. Good fantasy week, for me, at least. Only downside, I feel like absolute shit. I have mucus pouring out of every orifice of my body. I think at this point I might just be coming fucking phlegm. It's disgusting. So, hopefully I don't cough up a fucking hairball during this podcast. I am in the holiday spirit, though. Got the beautiful, beautiful, ugly Christmas sweater. It's not really a sweater, it's a sweatshirt. But that's what everybody's fucking doing now. Nobody knits anymore because nobody's 90 goddamn years old. So, without further ado, let's get into the scores. Start from bottom to the top. First, we had Dwyer beating Kyle Cabral 163.5 to 133. Dwyer texted me this morning. Apparently, he's won 6 matchups in a row. I believe that's true. But he started out 1-8, so his team fucking stunk. Doesn't mean anything when you win 6 matchups after that. Except he's not going to be in the cunt matchup. Kyle Cabral is. So, good for Dwyer. Watch out for him next year. I'm sure he'll be great. And sorry, Kyle, but I don't know if you're even trying at this point. You're in the cunt. I don't think you really care that much about it. Next, we had Davis beating Espo 200.5 to 197. Espo almost made a miraculous comeback after getting his ass beat last week. But too little, too late. He also played Tom Brady over Cam Newton. Tom Brady facing the Denver defense didn't really do much. They just ran the ball all fucking day. So Brady put up 7 points, Cam Newton put up 20 points, and Espo's facing Kyle Cabral for the cunt now. So, I'm sure he doesn't regret that decision whatsoever. And Davis is going to be playing for the winner of the losers bracket, which maybe he can take some pride in that. And last but not least, in the losers bracket, we had Barnesy beating Brian Mayette 219.5 to 192.5. Once again, Barnesy just had a giant lead going into this week. Brian put up 103.5 points this week. Barnesy put up 88, but it wasn't nearly enough. So, not the best week from Barnesy, but when you have Le'Veon Bell put up 50 fucking points for you the week before, you don't exactly need to have a great week. So Brian Mayette will be playing Dwyer in a totally inconsequential matchup to see who gets like the 7 seed, who gets the 8 seed. And Barnesy will be playing Davis to see who's the winner of the losers bracket. Then, moving on to the playoffs, we had Kyle Fayola just beat the shit out of Ben the Bear Jew Barlock. Not exactly a surprise. Fayola would have had to shit his pants in order to not make the championship round, and he didn't. He put up 120 points. Pretty good week. He beat Ben both weeks. Ben only put up 96.5 points this week. I thought Ben would have at least one week during the playoffs where he had like a 130-point performance. He's done that pretty much all season long. But it didn't happen. Pretty like runaway win for Kyle Fayola. Almost like 75 points. 68.5 to be exact. But Kyle Fayola, another good week out of LaShawn McCoy, 29.5 points, 24.5 for Ezekiel Elliott. Got 15 from his kicker, and everybody else was like mediocre. Deshaun Jackson had 14.5 points, which is great for Deshaun Jackson. But, so good week for Kyle. Ben, not that great of a week. He had David Johnson score 24 points, which happens every fucking week. And Jordan Howard with 19, which once again seems to happen every fucking week. And he also got -4 points out of Minnesota's defense, which if Ben's not getting negative points from his defense, he's getting it from his kicker. So Ben will move on to the third place matchup. I beat Eddie 161 to 146. I'm moving on to the championship. Feels good. You know, I feel cold going away the more I say I'm moving on to the championship. I have to thank Eddie for throwing like the last 3 weeks of the season and letting Kyle Fiola win the fucking division. I don't think he did it on purpose, but I'm glad that he did. That's what I was rooting for. I saw Eddie's team slip and sliding. That's who I wanted in the playoffs. I was happy just to get in the playoffs, but I was very happy with the matchup too. It was closer than the score indicates, because I thought Jonathan Stewart wasn't going to do much of anything. Well, I shouldn't say that. I didn't have much faith in Jonathan Stewart to do much of anything, but he was projected for some points against the Redskins. So I wanted to be in a good position going into last night, and luckily I had already had that wrapped up. But I knew, looking after the 1 o'clock games, I thought this matchup was going to come down to Drew Brees versus Derek Carr, and sure enough, it did. Drew Brees put up 29 points, Derek Carr put up 10. If they both scored the same amount of points, I would have been fucked, since Jordan Reed likes to suit up, play 10 snaps, and then punch somebody in the fucking helmet with his fist. So, luckily I got those 19 points. Without that, 19-point advantage. Without that, I would have lost. And then I praise myself because I had faith. I was looking at picking up like Colin Kaepernick or some bum-ass QB. Just because Drew Brees has been a bum-ass QB the last 2 weeks. But then I thought back on draft day, Drew Brees was the quarterback I wanted. Looked back, saw that in the draft results, I actually picked Drew Brees like 2 picks before Tom Brady, who is my Lord and Savior. So I trusted that it was some divine intervention that I picked Drew Brees. I did it for a reason. And I'm glad I did, because I could have picked Tom Brady. He would have got me 7 points this week. I would have lost. But Tom Brady wanted me to win. He told me to pick Drew Brees. And Drew Brees came in a big spot for me and put an absolute whooping on the sorry-ass Cardinals defense. So to recap, we have Espo playing Kyle Cabral in the cunt, Brian and Dwyer playing in a totally inconsequential matchup, Davis and Barnsey playing to be the winner or the losers, Ben and Eddie will be playing for third place, and then I'm facing Kyle Fiola in the championship round. And I want to win, because I don't want to hear that little twig-ass, tatted-up hood rat just talking shit in his foreign Warwick dialect all fucking, like, if he wins, that's like a whole off-season just having to hear, like, oh, yup, and shit like that. I can't do that. So, I'm coming out, gonna try to give my team the best chance to win. Hopefully they don't let me down, because I can't deal with him for an entire off-season. Going, hey, remember when I beat you in the championship? Oh, yup. Oh, Mark, oh. So, fuck him. Next 2 weeks, it's fuck the whack. Coming out with a vengeance. Let's go.